I would suggest that we start right away. We'll wait people to continue joining. So thank you for coming to the first ITI-LETS. Rodolfo is who's going to moderate. So go ahead.
Hello guys, my name is Rodolfo. I will moderate these conversations to start. What is LETS? It was first suggested by Andres to have a space to have conversations about natural languages, and our focus here is to bring open space also for our projects and topics, and also bring it as a group to achieve the goals of IT. So for this, I would like everyone in this conversation now present itself. My name is Rodolfo. I'm working with non-human representation.
My name is Andres. I'm working with evaluating agents in serious games.
My name is Sayed. I'm a PhD student. I'm doing researching on the digital sustainability. That's who I am.
Okay, can the people there please present themselves? Daniel, maybe?
I'm Daniel Lopes, and my interest in the natural language processing is related to convert text into mind maps for different applications.
Hello, my name is Ying. Right now, I'm focused on playful human-AI interaction, hopefully to find some playful, gameful ways to leverage human-AI interaction to help people understand or educate people know about nature or climate change or something value. Thank you.
Hello. Yeah, I'm Catherine, PhD researcher at University of Madeira, working HCI in energy systems. So I'm interested to know more on natural language processing and LLMs. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Rafaela. I'm a PhD student, and my interest here is because my thesis has to do with creative applications of generative systems, generative art.
Hello, my name is Felipe Tomé. I'm also a PhD. Can you hear me? Okay, cool. Yeah, so my name is Felipe Tomé. I'm also a PhD student. I don't use a lot of LLMs. I just recently started to use ChatGPT to help me write some tutorials and such. So I just came here to be more interested, to hear this discussion about LLMs and how everyone uses, so I can know a little more about this new stuff, at least for me.
Let's now Terry.
I don't know if Terry wants to speak.
You want to share? Who are you?
I think Terry is sick, so maybe. Okay.
Okay. So let's keep going.
Okay. Do you want to share something, Terry? We cannot hear her, so.
So basically, we just
Interpretations of LLMs.
what?
I think we didn't hear you, Terry. Can you repeat?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm Terhi Marttila. I'm a postdoctoral fellow in the eGames Lab research project, and I mostly do artistic research around writing and voice. And so, of course, I'm kind of interested in the implications for creative activity of all this language generation stuff. I'm happy to be here. And thank you, Andres, for making this happen.
Thank you all for coming, actually.
Yes. So we just had our little presentation about ourselves, and with this we will advance about what is the topic of our today conversation with Andres.
Okay, so before starting with the topic of today, I would like to say that ITI-LETS, what we propose this acronym to mean is technical interfacing language even that special. So the whole idea of ITI-LETS is that we bring discussions about why incorporating LLMs into interfaces, or like not only LLMs but natural language processing in general, and even natural language in general, even questioning what is the idea of language, what is language. So it is a provocation, and the idea is that we can bring every month like different topics. I'll give you Noah. Yeah, come in. Yes, more people. Nice. Thank you for coming. Yeah. So as I was saying, I'll just give a moment for the rest of the people is joining to present themselves. In the meantime, yeah, I was just saying that the idea is that every month we're bringing a topic. So this session I'm bringing a topic. Probably next session, next month, it's gonna be Rodolfo to bring the topic, and maybe Yin is gonna come after us. So if you can start like thinking on some ideas that you want to discuss with people at IT, this will be a great space for us to be talking about language. Noah, do you want to present yourself?
Sure. Hello, Noha Mukhtar. I'm doing my PhD in XR accessibility for limited mobility, supervised by Professor Augusto and Professor Ugo. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm very interested in LLMs. I work with them recently a lot, so yeah, I'm very interested in that. Good luck.
Thank you. You want to present yourself very shortly?
Yeah, I'm Jing, and I'm a first year PhD in digital media, and my supervisor is Hugo and Isabel. My research focused on deaf and hard of hearing children, children in mainstream school, about their social play and social inclusion. I'm not very familiar with artificial intelligence, but I have some interest on it. So yeah, okay, that's it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and present the topic of today. I'm gonna leave you guys behind. It's technology interfacing. Okay, so there was a typo there. Sorry. We'll correct it. Okay, so I'm gonna start by presenting. So the idea of this first session is just to think about language, not necessarily about LLMs themselves. Although I'm gonna talk a bit about LLMs. I'm not gonna talk much. I'm actually gonna put some videos and some fragments of videos. But the idea is to think like, what is language? What is it? Is it so special? And the idea is that to us, is it so special? Is because there's like this whole discussion on the field of anthropology and evolution about like if a language is what makes us like thinking agents, and like it is like what makes us human. And the first idea I bring is the idea of Michel Tomassello, who's a primatologist and infant psychologist, and he compares the behavior of monkeys and infants. And he says language is not really that special. That is not what makes us different. What makes us different are other things. Of course, language is we have language, animals don't. But we also have like rocket science. Animals don't have rocket science, and that's not necessarily what separates us. It's something that's more minimal. And here he explains two experiments. So let's watch these. I don't know if I'm sharing sound. Let me just check. I'm sharing sound before. Yeah, okay, now I am. So I think people is not hearing online. Let me, okay. Okay, I'm gonna go back and show that's the experiment again. Pay attention because it's very quick.
I want you to look at,
Here.
this is a 9-month-old, to the day, 9 months old. You're gonna see me get a little excited here, but that's because this is the first time we tried this at 9 months. But one of the things I want you to know is it's gonna happen very quickly, but this is a classic, around the same age, about 12 to 14 months, the classic showing behavior. So again, this happens very quickly, so just watch. That's it. Okay, the people who claim that humans are all motivated by selfish motives, I'd like to ask you, what is the motive there? The motive is, isn't this cool? That's it, okay? I want you to confirm that this is cool, right? But again, look at the eye contact, okay? This is key. All right, now finally, another home movie. This is going to be the same kid here around the same age, and they're going to be looking at a book, a classic book reading, middle class, Western middle class. Mom is behind her, there's a sibling in front of her, and there's a sibling behind the camera. And they get very excited because she sort of says something vaguely resembling a word. But again, watch her visual monitoring. She's going to turn around and look to mom, right there. And then she's going to look to the sibling, and then to the sibling running the camera.
Baby, that's right.
Okay. So this is the 9-month revolution right here. It's engagement with someone else in a way that we take for granted, but here is why you can't take it for granted. I'm going to show you, this is a human-raised chimpanzee, about 2 years old. And we tried to put her in a situation that was somewhat similar to the classic Western middle-class parent on a floor playing with toys with the, it lasts about a minute and a half here. I'm going to show you the whole thing. So first there's a ball, and so you see the ball. He's playing with the ball. She asks him to hand it to her. He doesn't. She bounces it to get him interested. I should say her. It's a her, chimp. She's interested. So she's playing with it, she's putting it in a bucket. No looks. No looks to the face. Not a single one. Okay, and this is typical. I didn't just choose one situation where she doesn't. All right? Okay. She's playing with the ball. Okay, now I switch. This is a cut. The human is going to show, the adult is going to show her the picture. Notice she's pointing just like the mother did in the other one. So she's trying to point and show and get the chimp interested. The chimp is interested. What's going to come right after this is the chimp is going to engage with the book herself. But notice again, no looks, no engagement, interaction. Okay, I think we cut it again, and then it's going to. The chimp is playing with other toys, but never holds one up and shows it. No holding up and showing. Now we cut. Now the chimp engages with the book. My daughter, 7 years old. Look at this and oh my God, she's reading a book, okay? She's so in, but no, she's really into it. She's interested in the pictures, she's interested in the pages. No looking, no reference with the adult. The adult hands her the ball. She's interested in the ball, but no look, okay? No showing, no giving, no pointing. Okay. So this is to give you an impression of the different kind of engagement, social coordination, my attention to you, my attention to the thing, our attention to the thing. This is to give you an impression of that. I will say also that all this looking I've been emphasizing, we are built for this physically. Of the roughly 200 species of non-human primates, 199 of them have eyes like this. One of them has eyes like this. Okay. Yes, they have white sclera, but it's way behind. You can only see it when they look to the side. Humans advertise their eye direction.
Okay, so this was all to say that, okay, the postulate of Tomassello is there is some idea, like some on humans, there is some ability to see what others are seeing, maybe, and that you can have like joint intentionality, joint attention, so we can like have like cooperative behavior, whereas apparently most primates don't show any kind of joint attention and very rarely cooperative behaviors. So what does this have to do with language? Well, maybe language is not that special. That's kind of the point here. So now let's look about language being a bit more special. And now language here is going to become pretty interesting. And then I want you to put attention to this robot. And then I'm going to show another study that this laboratory made with this robot, but that is more related to Tomassello's theory on primates and infant development.
I'm Alter 3 from the Takashi Ikegami Laboratory
So,
at the University of Tokyo. I can do many things. Our laboratory used me for studying how life and mind can emerge in robots. Intelligence and consciousness is not just information processing in the brain. To approach mind, we need to include the body and behavior. That's why we use this robot. This is the spec of Alter 3. He has 43 actuators in its body, and there are cameras in both eyes. Please refer my paper if you want to know more. In previous work, we have been conducting experiments that Alter mimics human movements. However, research in robotics has changed significantly since the LLM appeared in 2023. There are two types of research connecting robotics and LLM: navigation, cognitive science. There are various examples of research connecting LLMs and robotics. However, most of the research uses LLMs for designing navigation or reward functions. Many of them also target robotic arms and dog robots. They need to create modules for low-level control of robots. Because LLMs do not learn about hardware-dependent motion signal information. Low-level control is challenging for LLMs, but humanoids can do it. This is our main finding. We try to use LLM for embodied cognitive science. For example, in the case of dog robots, there are few language that describe the behavior of dogs. Also, each piece of hardware has a different structure, so we have to pre-train control modules. In the case of humanoid robot, LLM has already known how people move because there are already many descriptions of human movement, so LLM can control the humanoid robot directory. This is our hypothesis. Okay, let's look at the movement generated by the language model. I typed pretend to be a ghost, and this is the motion. Certainly looks like ghost.
Okay, there we go. LLMs used to work to manage a body, to have an idea maybe of an environment LLMs. But it's interesting how those two things are very different, right? So how primates or how language in humans come from attentionality and like a very bottom-up approach where it starts like we first have a body, then we progressively develop a certain characteristics until we obtain language. And we have all of these that Marcel described, looking at the eyes, advertising the way we're looking, having a theory of mind, etc., etc. Meanwhile, Alter 3, she has language, or they have language, but it doesn't really look like they have any of all of those other characteristics that primate has. They do not have attention, and neither they do regulate by the eye movement as much as we know. So there is like some kind of information or knowledge that is like their own language that is different from the kind of information that we have and the way we obtain language. So language here seems to be special, but it's definitely like a top to bottom approach where you have like first like the complicated structure and then you go down to have like an embodied to use that upper knowledge to work by. right? I'm gonna show you very quick before, because my time is over, so I'm gonna show you another experiment of Pattern 3. So this robot is from this laboratory in Tokyo, which is the EK lab in Tokyo University by Kigami professor, and this is and the programmer is Yoshida. And what they do in a previous study without using LLMs. So this is not really as interesting for us, but they compare like what happened if they can try to symbolize an understanding of what they're doing. And what they do is like using an autocompressor to kind of create imitation capacity. So not only the robot will mimic with open pose the position that the person is doing, that they will also try to understand with a BAA, it will try to understand what the pose means, like one arm, the other arm, these things. So it's not only like it's not only imitating open pose, but it's trying to understand what it does. Then when LLMs appear, their research completely went to LLMs, so it really changes how they operate the robot now. But what is interesting is that they found that this is the architecture. So you use open pose to control the movement, or you use this autoencoder to actually try to understand what the movement symbolizes. And what they found is that when you have like mimicking and imitation together, the robot is able to capture a wider array of symbolizing to retaining in the retaining process. So maybe too much, but I just wanted to bring these experiments to see like how we can implement like this very complex thinking that not even primates has into robotics. At least like in a theoretical way, but which is like the top-bottom approach I was describing before. But maybe the robot does not even have like a real comprehension of what's happening there. That maybe an LLM can help us have that comprehension. So I'm gonna stop here. Thank you for your patience. And now I want to invite you all to an open discussion. So the idea in this part is that Rodolfo is going to moderate an open discussion. The idea is that we can all start thinking and talking about this, about what is language, what is being a human, what is being a robot, and if the discussion, oh no, not yet. And the discussion is like it's enough, like if we have enough to discuss, we can continue this, otherwise we also have another plan. So let's see where we can get. So Rodolphe, back to you.
So for this conversation, we can start with any questions that you might have about what we just shared. There's anyone that would like to start?
Yeah.
Okay, so Noah said that we might want to start with a specific question, and that is really an interesting idea.
Maybe I
can just mention something. When I have seen the monkey and the baby, I become to know maybe the baby want to show to the parents, hey, I have something to share, but the monkey doesn't want to share something to say, hey, I have this. So it's like two different, and the age also. The age of the baby is like 2 years, I think, but they cannot compare it. Like the monkey is the monkey, and the human, there are two different perspectives. And the robot, which has, in my point of view, like over movement, which we program it to do something like this. So imagine we have a baby which want to show something to the parents. We have a monkey which is in demands. It doesn't want to show anything, and the robot, which we say, do this thing. So I was like to share this thing, that's all.
And do you think it adds something to what you are doing now? What do you think?
Can I say something?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, well, regarding that, I think do you know about the company? I think it's in Japan that's basically raising virtual humans basically by learning through the web. So literally they actually grow humans through learning
Yes.
through the web. So how would that be different than the idea of raising a baby or the monkey or all of that? So how is it actually going to be different? Because in that case, we already have an example. We can already look at these virtual humans and see how they behave, and then we can kind of predict what might happen, no?
Could you share about the project on our chat in Discord?
Sure, yeah, of course.
Thank you, Noah.
So interesting, yeah.
Yeah, that's actually something that for me, sometimes I'm like researching about AI and seeing like all these skills that they have, like doing flips, like doing any skill, having like PhD thesis. If you just prompt do a PhD thesis, and then I go like to the streets and I look to the people having kind of specific skills that the large language models nowadays have. And yeah, sometimes I get scared, sometimes I just see that this language between us is just something that is always keeping evolving, being more complex, and is something that we always need to be careful of bringing to a table and to discuss and to put in order. And yeah, for my experience, to use this, we really need to know why we are using this, because if we don't know, we will just like lose the control and let this language or the model or the AI decide by us. And this comes from goes like for a big topic of like gardening lines, like security, and yeah.
And I would like to ask, what do you mean by language? In my point of view, language is something which we can say something and transferring the information. Like,
Yeah.
this is it, right?
Yes.
So it can be, even the color can be the language. It is actually.
Color, if
Can I ask that some order, like maybe ask the word before speaking?
Of course. But just to
We can
answer,
skip it, we can skip it, sorry.
just to answer about that, like if you have only one color, like blue, you don't have a language. It's just like a name.
We have understanding of the maybe
A language.
maybe we can talk about it.
Yeah, but language, a language is kind of a set of data that has correlation and logic.
Transparent information, right?
Yeah, and you can understand something between those symbols, between those words that are.
That's exactly, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I agree with you.
And like when you are.
Connection.
Yeah, and when you are training a model in a language, you can even train the model in the donuts image or the pen image. And this is like two sets, but if you say that this is a language of images, they are inside of the language of images.
So the first you started with that. Yeah, I'm sorry. The first you said that animal doesn't have language. Why you say that?
I would prefer to hear more people.
Yeah.
Because I spoke already a
Yeah,
lot,
yeah.
so.
But do we have more people?
I think
Yeah, it's okay. Maybe we can ask online.
Of course you.
Because
No, skip.
Go ahead.
yeah, I can share my opinions about this topic and animals. I think animals have language because language is like the communication. It's like you whatever you say or whatever the gestures you have or the behaviors you have and the others people maybe probably not just the people and probably other species they can understand you. So this is the language function, I think. And so it's not just about the language we are speaking now and maybe about the behaviors because animals they have their sounds and also their body behavior.
More about connection.
I think so. My opinion is that other animals they also have the language, and also the monkeys they have.
Yes.
As I think.
Yeah, the body language, the speaking language.
Yeah.
If there are people that would like to share their ideas on the chat, you can react maybe with the ends. And just for us to know that
if you leave the message on the chat, we are seeing the chat right now. So Catherine, would thank you for joining. Catherine is already away. So if anybody wants to share their idea of what language is right now,
you can do like a reaction like this, like putting the ends, you know. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, one way, maybe, yes, I mean, animals do have a lot of communication properties, right? So like body language, or what we call body language or gestuality. So this is all ways of communicating for sure. I wonder, and I think that this is kind of like the big question is like, but do animals actually have language? Like, do they mean things about what they do? Like the fact that they don't share things,
I don't know.
like this showing behavior, which is pretty interesting because it's like you want the other one to know, right? And I think what Tomassello says is like there's like in humans there is around like this 9-month revolution he calls there is like an appearance of like the notion of third-party intentionality, right? So it's like not only do I understand that you behave, but I understand that you behave because you intend something with the way you're saying things, and that is because I show you things, that is because I try to interact. Is him right or wrong? I think it's interesting the way he compares his experiments. But there is a beautiful presentation I put on the references to this conversation, which is called Big Bioglosia, which is from the MIT, and this guy, this PhD student that won the prize inside MIT this year for this presentation. And he proposes, he speculates on the idea, okay, what if LLMs could help us decipher the language of whales, right? And we could actually communicate with whales. And maybe language, maybe if robots and machines do they understand language that they can use them even if they don't have these particular characteristics, maybe other animals actually do have like very cultural complex things that we simply have not observed or do not understand, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Any discussion, anything else to add to the discussion there? Felipe wanted to talk about arrival, maybe this is speculative dimension of time and language. Okay.
Our plan B also for this conversation was to bring to the table maybe 1, 2, or even 3 projects of this group, and really bringing like problems or challenges that you are having right now that you would like to share to the group, and understand if the space that we are creating here can really bring something for yourself. So there's anyone that has something like this on your mind?
Or that can see how the labs can bring something to our projects.
Are you all comfortable like to implement? Do you all understand what the language means?
Okay, go ahead, Felipe. You have the microphone.
Hi, hello. Let me just like move this window through here. So as I said earlier, so I've just started using LLMs. So I use like ChatGPT as a grammar check to my writing, because when you write for the first time, you made a lot of mistakes, especially if you're not your main like language. So what I want to ask. So sometimes I feel really bad because I use ChatGPT as a way to help me write better. But since ChatGPT helped me, I feel kind of sometimes off because it's my writing, but I have help from an AI. So it's my writing AI now. So there are sometimes some ethical implications, at least for me. But I'm really like early stages, so I don't know if it is like something we all feel, or it's just me. And now recently, so I've been writing stories for games for a while now, and I use ChatGPT to help me brainstorm ideas. So ChatGPT has just become my new friend on writing stories, just like a D&D setting. We exchange story beats there, and me and ChatGPT define a story based on my feedback and their feedback, kind of. But while I'm doing this, I'm still thinking maybe I'm kind of a fake writer because I'm using AI. Uh, so yeah, this is something I'd like to discuss with the group if everyone is okay. So does anyone feel this way, kind of off sometimes when you use like AI for writing? How do you feel when you use AI?
I can
Well,
share my
I guess.
experience.
So,
No, please go on.
oh, okay. So I guess there are 2 points. First point is when you say that basically it helps you for grammar. Actually, there is another AI tool that could help you maybe better that I would recommend. It would be Grammarly in that case, because it might still keep your kind of format or your tone. Meanwhile, it improves it still. Regarding generating ideas, we actually recently had a session about that, and I kind of understand, but I also struggle understanding at the same time the that you feel that it's fake, because I get that basically you need to get to generate ideas, but in the end, it's going to give you a lot of ideas, and in the end, it's going to be your pick. So it helps you, but at the same time, you're the decision maker. Don't you think so? Sorry, go ahead, Daniel.
Yeah, so I also kind of agree with Noah here. I think it's only fake if you have a very abusive use of the technology. So if you let the technology guide your decisions and just take whatever output it gives you and use it as is, so that's a dangerous part. So that's you not knowing how to use technology properly. But I don't think it's fake if it use it with intelligence. So you have to obviously write, so do some dumping, right? Do the prompt. Don't worry about how beautiful the text is, etc. And then once it outputs the beautified version of what you expect to convey, the messages you expect to convey, then sure, it's a joint collaboration. So ChatGPT is the colleague that you never had, right? So you can ask whatever you want anytime, any time of the day, etc. And the output has something constructive for your work. So that's a good thing, but you have to use it intelligently. So I don't think it's a fake. So even if it's not
Yeah.
100% yours, it kind of is, because even prompt design is quite a skill, right? So it's not easy to write the right prompt and do this back and forth with the agent. So in order to fine tune and to converge to a proper solution. So if you always place the human in the loop and you are in control and actually you have the system that actually augments you, that's a good thing. So I wouldn't consider it to be like a fake or phony, because actually this process of prompting is actually a good writing practice. So when you write something, even for a paper, you should just write it, like just dump text, okay? It doesn't matter if it has typos, if there's some errors, etc. If all the messages are out there, it really doesn't matter. So that's the first stage, just write. Then the second stage is to revise what you wrote. So you dump text for a paragraph, and then, okay, once the paragraph is there, you can then revise it. So you improve it. And then you can do that for the following paragraph, etc., etc. So there's always this dumping session, this dumping step that you have to do, and then do the revise. Don't do the two steps simultaneously. So don't write a phrase, and then, oh, I have to revise this and beautify it. So I will only continue to the next sentence if once this is already ready and beautiful, etc. No, just write it fluently, go with the flow, and then you go back and revise it. So that's something that kind of is the same with working with an agent. So you're not a fake. Okay.
Yeah, I'm really agree with Daniel. And I think just totally I agree with you, Daniel. I'm thinking how much we have to trust to ChatGPT. It's like the value of the trust. Sometimes I'm just thinking, should I just give it to the ChatGPT to do it at the final or not? And sometimes I say, okay, anyway, I have to read whatever it says. I have to check it again and again because sometimes it says something different from different islands, so, But overall, I agree with you.
Yeah, you also always have to filter the outputs, right? So you don't just assume, okay, this is the ChatGPT or other LLMs result, and I will just use it as is. You have to have that filtering and critical analysis always on
Right.
and active. Otherwise, you will become the robot.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to say again? Question. Somebody that has.
My hand raised.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so first of all, I will speak slowly because I'm sick and I'm also thinking slowly, so I apologize for that. But this is a very interesting question because we don't have currently a cohesive framework of laws and certain morality in this question because it's so new. On one hand, we have the law system that's currently more specific in the United States, in which if you use an AI as a companion to create something, then you may or you may not get the copyright for that thing. It depends on how much human input it has. If it is found that the AI has sufficient autonomy, then you will not get the copyright of this thing you created. So on one hand, we have that legal system that ascertains some agency to the AI. On the other hand, in the academia, which is our area, the most common opinion is that AI is, as Danielle said, just a tool. So we should use it, right, as best as we can. And I wrote a paper about this, and I'm still not sure what exactly my opinion is. I think we should perhaps find another way to think about this. So we are very rightly comparing the agency of animals with monkeys in this case, which is very interesting because we had a case of a monkey called Naruto. I don't know if there are any anime fans here. A monkey called Naruto that he took some selfies and its owner decided to try to get the copyright of his pictures for Naruto. And it was not allowed because he was non-human. And in the world, authorship is only attributed to humans. And authorship and agency are two very different things, but we usually think about them together. So That's why more than human research and post-humanism and thinking in a way past anthropocentrism, I think that's how you say it in English, might be a future way to think about these questions. Okay, yes, just to say that perhaps AI, we can use it, but I see it more as a collaborator than just a tool, or just like, on the other hand, a big enemy or something like that. Yeah, something in between.
Okay, so Ying says, no actually human. Sorry, I have another meeting. I feel that LLMs is a long way from being human, even though it has very powerful natural language generation capabilities. We humans express our individual thoughts through language, but ChatGPT just generating responses that pretend to be human. So, I guess this conversation can continue, and maybe we can continue after the hour. But I just want us to have like a full the full look at the program, and the discussion part. It should be over by now. So the idea in a normality talks, in ITI-LETS, it will be to have like a conclusions now that I think this could be drawn. But because we have very little time, I will take maybe as a main conclusion that it's a very complicated topic to think about language, to think what makes language unique and what makes robots unique. But for me, it will be very interesting. But I guess what we really wanted to discuss right now is like, what would you like for ITI-LETS to be? And for me particularly, I would like ITI-LETS to be a space for us to think about how LLMs can be used, how can they change things, right? So just like the appearance of LLMs change how we program movement on robots, what different implementation can we find of LLMs, right? What is it that it's really changing? It's just not maybe just asking like, oh, LLMs are as intelligent or less intelligent or whatever, but it's just like maybe like now that we can use language in programming, like what's happening with the computing, right? Like what can we do? And maybe if we see some interesting cases, we can bring them here, etc., etc. So I don't know if anybody would like to talk about what they would like to discuss on the next sessions. Like maybe the idea is to make once a month this meeting, and we have some ideas of what the next two meetings can be. But I would like to open the mic about maybe have some feedback on what happened today, and what could happen, what could be better or worse for the next ones. Go ahead, Daniel.
I was just wanting to ask you, how did you do this alignment? Because it looks pretty well done.
It was Rudolph.
So what was your process here?
Basically, Andres wrote a previous draft about LETS with the organization committee. And then I took the mission and the vision of ITE, I put in ChatGPT, and I designed some prompts.
That's a good use of the technology, yes. Okay. Because it really looks that you managed to do a proper alignment. Although the mission and the vision of ITI is not still we haven't converged to like the final version of what it is. Actually, it's always evolving, but this is a good job.
Yeah, I know, like what we were discussing in the last meeting was just like the first paragraph that maybe can be like redefined or like rewritten, but we have like a page that is like really being clear and like being precise about what we want to achieve here. And yeah, this was something that I came up with. And what do you think, guys? It's aligned for you?
I think it's so good.
I mean, it shows a proper alignment. I think there's more things to be aligned. Okay, so more goals to be aligned with. And actually, seeing this slide kind of suggests that probably LLMs is something that is very cross-cutting. So it's very transversal to all the collectives within ITI, and could be like kind of the glue that's missing between the different PIs and the different students, etc. So LLMs could be, or actually language could be the social glue that we're missing in the institute. So we can probably make use of this technology as kind of like a vehicle, like to convey this type possible partnerships between among ourselves. Yeah, but this is a good job. Yeah, nice work.
I don't know so much some of you, so I would like maybe some of you I know more, maybe Rafaela, Felipe I know more, but I would love to listen a bit about maybe Noha or Ying or Gonzalo. What would you like to discuss in here? What would you like to, or what were your expectations? What did you like or didn't like? And maybe also if Rafaela, Felipe, or Terry, or anybody can sit here.
I'm sorry, the voice is not 100% clear. Could you repeat what you said?
Yeah, I just wondering, like, if you have any ideas, expectations, feedback from what happened today, or ideas for next meetings.
Yes. Well, actually, I think because the topic of LLMs is way too broad, I think maybe for next sessions, maybe try to stick to like a topic at a time, because we can go as broad as possible. So maybe try to stick to specific things so we can discuss them.
Fair enough.
Yes, that's what I was going to suggest. I think it's a great idea, and of course it's normal that in the first session you want to present your idea and your objectives. But I think in the future it would be cool if you started with some kind of question or paper or book. Not that people have to read the book, but the theme of it. And you bring some ideas, and then let the discussion be a little bit more organic, because I think a lot of interesting topics were raised, and then you try to always get on to the next thing, and that doesn't really allow for a lot of debate, which I think might be interesting. But congratulations, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like the document you prepared, you sent to us about the introduction and also the papers and the presentations, videos. I have looked like 2 or 3 of the videos and I really like it. And I think the first 2 videos is about the the PhD students. Yeah, I really like that one. And you compared his research. It's like a line, and maybe we can focus on one specific research. It's like about the Yoshida's humanoid robot, and how does he developed, and what's the, it's like, it's like we can track the research line, and we can discuss if we have some questions why he choose this method, and why he used this kind of technology to solve this problem. And I think it would be better, and also I think we can have more discussion time.
Yeah. Yeah, today was the demo, I guess, and we also wanted to talk about the goals, so we were rushing a bit, but thank you for the comment. And thank you for your interest. Terry?
I wanted to say that I think also what's really useful is just these kind of practical hands-on things where people share some of the tools that they've been using. because sometimes, yeah, it's like just opening up, sharing their screen and showing how they use something can be really interesting, or like how they've set up something to run locally on their computer. That has been really useful in the previous sessions that we've done with the eGames lab. And also, I agree with Rafaela on the point of like maybe like kind of copying the format of the HCI reading group in terms of like anchoring the discussion on research articles or books. I think that's a good starting point, because many of us can then start building up like a list of references around these topics.
If I might, Terry, just to put us onto your idea, I think that's super interesting. And you could like do a wish list like HCI, and people could put not only papers, but themes, questions, tools, like Terry was saying, software, systems, methodologies, and like the people would choose democratically something, and then the person would have like 5 minutes to present something very informally, and then the discussion would go on from that. Just an idea, yeah.
Okay, Daniel, are you?
And I'm
you have
sorry, yeah,
something?
Daniel was with his hand raised.
Although I do kind of agree with Rafaela and Terry on, okay, just dedicating the whole session for a single paper, that may sound a bit dry.
Oh no, not
I mean,
the whole
70% of
session,
the
but as
time
an
would be
anchor.
for a paper, for instance, and then the 30% could be for like diverse stuff. So I saw this article there the other day, this video, etc. Like a sharing experience session, smaller session. Then okay, let's focus on a paper or book or whatever. Otherwise, you will then end up with the HCI Reading Club, which has a different purpose, right?
I
That's my
totally
opinion.
agree. It would be just like an anchor from like some discussion to come from, not really specifically about it, but as an origin.
Oh no, Raquel. Oh. What's happening here? Oh my God. Okay, I think we're back. We're back. Sorry. Yeah. Ying was going to say something.
Yeah, I like the idea that we can share some new tools related to generative AI, and we can share the maybe how to use it and what's the function of it. I think it'd be interesting. Maybe just take 5 to 10 minutes. Yeah, that's it.
Cool. I would like to suggest that instead of having a wishing list like Rafaela suggested and HCI does, I'm just gonna say this quick and then I got the word to know. That to know how. We will do like each session is prepared by somebody. So I prepared this first session. Maybe somebody presents another session, and you can bring like your own idea. So that it has more rotation and it's not like so dependent on like voting systems and like long lists and waiting lists and maybe democracy, but more like maybe I want to talk about this and bring the conversation forward. And I also prepare. This helps us a bit preparing, I guess. Noah?
Yes, actually, it's a continuation on Terhi's idea and kind of Rafaela, which basically I think that right now a lot of LLMs have different functionalities, and I think maybe if you do like themed sessions, basically you're going to attract different demographics from even the lab. So for instance, if you introduce like new tools, so for instance to generate art, to generate like, because you right now literally have like almost for everything an LLM specific for this, or maybe compare like if like there are literally a lot of tools. So for instance, if you want to generate images, for instance, do I use Gemini, do I use Canvas? So you literally can just like basically compare which one do you think is better, have a conversation about that. So it's basically mostly about themes of what can we do with each LLM. So I think that will be really beneficial even for all of us to basically kind of guide and make it more related to the functionalities to get the best out of each and everyone. Yeah, that's my idea.
Cool, yes. I wonder if Rodolfo want to do something like this for next session, right? I can do it. I think he wanted to share something about the general knowledge, so that would be a good way to try this and kind of for us all to understand a bit like kind of more workshop kind of thing. Do you guys think is like a good idea to have this once a month? Once a month seems like a good frequency.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Daniel, do you have to leave now?
Yeah.
Can we keep the Zoom meeting so if people want to continue talking or giving ideas? Or do you need this your Zoom?
No, so since this is a personal account, I think I can't share you that.
I think if you make me like amphitryon, I can keep it. I can keep
Oh,
it
can you?
silent.
Oh, okay. Let me see if that works.
I mean, got the participants and the idea is that this is
Hosts.
just 1 hour, but like also the idea that after like this hour, we can like just engage like in just anarchy conversation if possible. Anarchy conversation.
I will finish my role of moderation now. I will go.
Okay, so I have to leave. Bye bye. Sorry.
Ciao, ciao. Ciao, everybody. I think I'm still.